Imagine this, it's midnight in Washington, D.C., the year 1848, while the city sleeps. 77 enslaved men, women, and children are quietly making their way to a small schooner docked on the Anacostia River. Their destination, freedom. This isn't a pirate story, it's the true account of the Pearl Incident, the largest non-violent escape attempt in American history. The capital city back then was a strange paradox. It was called the Temple of Liberty, yet it was a major hub for the domestic slave trade. The constant fear of being sold down south to brutal plantations was a nightmare for thousands. This fear drove a free black blacksmith named Daniel Bell, who was desperately trying to buy his own family's freedom, to seek help. He connected with a white abolitionist sea captain, Daniel Drayton, for $100. Drayton chartered a schooner, called the Pearl Asterisk. The plan was audacious. Sail 225 miles down the Potomac, up the Chesapeake Bay, and into the free state of New Jersey on the night of April 15th. Under a moonless sky, 77 souls slipped aboard. There were families like the Bells and the Edmondsons, teenagers and toddlers, all sharing a single, whispered hope for a new life. For a full day, as the Pearl Asterisk sailed down the river, that hope felt real. They sang songs, shared stories, and watched the horizon, imagining a future without chains. But their dream was about to be shattered. Back in Washington, slaveholders woke to find empty beds and unfinished chores. Panic turned to fury. A crucial mistake was made. The driver hired to bring the last few escapees to the ship, a man named Judson Diggs, was never fully paid. Angry and resentful, he betrayed them. He told the authorities everything. A posse of 35 armed men chartered a steamship and raced down the Potomac. A sudden storm had forced the Pearl Asterisk, to anchor near the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay. As dawn broke, the posse stormed the schooner, catching everyone completely by surprise. The journey to freedom became a grim voyage back to bondage. The 77 captives were chained and paraded through the jeering crowds of Washington. Before being thrown into jail, the incident ignited the city. For 3 days, pro-slavery mobs rioted, destroying the office of an abolitionist newspaper and attacking anyone suspected of helping the escapees. The trials of the ship's captains, Drayton and Sayers, became a national spectacle. While they were eventually pardoned after 2 years, the fate of the escapees was heartbreaking. Most were sold to the Deep South, their families torn apart forever. But even in this tragedy, there were glimmers of triumph. The story of the teenage sisters, Mary and Emily Edmondson, captured the nation's sympathy. Abolitionists, led by the famous preacher Henry Ward Beecher, raised enough money to buy their freedom. The sisters went on to become powerful voices in the anti-slavery movement. The Pearl Incident sent shockwaves across the country. The sheer boldness of 77 people risking everything for liberty exposed the hypocrisy at the heart of the nation. The outrage it generated directly led to Congress banning the slave trade in Washington, D.C. Just 2 years later, they didn't make it to freedom that day, but their courage lit a fire that helped burn slavery down. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as powerful as I did, please like this video and subscribe for more hidden histories.